Okay, on today's video, all we're going to do is we're going to review a couple kinds of problems that you'll see on the quiz that's going to be tomorrow. So, the three things that we learned in this chapter so far are how to order whole numbers least to greatest and compare them, and we learned how to round numbers, and we learned how to put numbers into exponents. So I'm going to go over one problem like that. On this one today, all you're going to do, I'm going to write a problem, you're going to pause it, and you're going to practice it, and then you're going to check it with me. So, the first kind of problem is the one where we order numbers least to greatest. So if we have 5,294, if we have 2,130, and we have 5,924. We're going to order those least to greatest. We have to figure out which one is the smallest first. So what we could do is we could line them up. I'm going to do that. We can line them up. And we look at the first place value, 5, 2, 5. Here we can see that this 2,130 is less than the other one, so that's going to be our first number. Then we go over to the next one, and we already have a difference. The 9 and the 2. 2 is smaller, so that's going to be our next number, which leaves 5,924. And that's all there is to it. And if you see two problems, and so all you do, if you see one that has two numbers like 594, 549, all we do is we start on the left side. 5 and 5 is the same, 9 and 4, so 594 would be greater than 549. That's the first kind of problem. I forgot to tell you to pause. Hopefully you paused. The next kind of problem is one where we round, and on your quiz it's mostly going to ask, don't you even think about it being the next one is going to be where it tells you which way to round. So if we do, we'll say 6,129 plus 3,840, and it says to the hundreds place. Pause. Okay, so first thing we do is we underline the hundreds place on both numbers. Then we go to the number to the right. This 2 tells us to round down, so we're just going to change that into 0. So it's going to be 6,100. Over here, the 8, we go 1 to the right. It tells us we're also going to round down, so we're going to change that into 0. So it's 3,800. Then all we do is add across, or add down. So our answer should be 9,900. The next one is a kind of story problem, and it's going to ask, one of the quiz questions is just like this one with different numbers. So it'll say, we are going on a trip, and the trip is 253 miles. And we are getting 49 miles to the gallon. So the question was, about how many gallons of gas would we need? So if it's 253 miles and we get 49 miles for each gallon, that sounds like a division problem. So we're going to do 253 divided by 49, but remember, we're estimating. So on this one, we need to look at what are two numbers that we can round these two numbers to make them compatible. Well, what's an easy number near 49? 50 is right near 49, so we're going to use 50 here. And 253, what's a number close to 250 that we can divide by 50? So we're going to use 250 for that one. And then all we have to do is 250 divided by 50. I forgot to say pause. Oops. So 5 goes into 25 5 times. We can cross out these zeros. So the answer is 5. And there's a problem. It's almost exactly the same as that. Different answer that's going to be on your quiz. The next one, the last two problems are going to be exponents. So it's going to say put this one into exponential form. It's going to say something like, okay, so solve that problem. Go. Pause. Okay, so our base number on the bottom is going to be 8, because that's the number we're using. And how many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our exponent, 8 to the 4th power. The last kind of problem that we'll do is actually solving one of those. So for example, it might be, say, 7 to the 3rd power. Another way to say to the 3rd power is cubed. So 7 cubed. And so, if we're going to solve that, well, pause and try and solve it right now. Okay, so all we're going to do is write that out. 7 is the base number, so that's the number we're multiplying by itself 3 times, because that's what the exponent says. 7 times 7 times 7. So all we do here is I'm going to group these two, because I know 7 times 7 is 49, and then times 7 one more time. So I'm going to do 49 times 7, that's 63, 28 plus 6 would be 243. Oops, I just messed that up. 28 plus 6 would be 34. So it'd be 343. Yeah. So, that's the last problem. If you know how to do those 3 kinds of problems, then you'll ace the quiz. That's all there is for this one. If you want to get a head start and look at what tomorrow's quiz is going to be, it's on page 18 in your math notebook. You can take a look at it. If you have any questions, come in and talk to me before school, and I'll answer them before we take the quiz.